All right. I'm doing graphic organizers and concept definition maps, and these are two tools that you and your students can use through any reading that you're doing. So whether that's textbooks or storybooks, um, just kind of anything, it should work. It just depends on how you set it up and how the students or yourself are using them. Um, so to start off, graphic organizers, those probably sound familiar to you. You've probably used them before, heard of them. And I have an example of it. So let me just share my screen quick. Um, there we go. All right. So you should be able to see this um, graphic organizer. And this is an example that I'm using. This is a story elements chart. And I find that for graphic organizers, Um, giving an example of the story element chart is a lot easier than, say, a textbook example. So, just kind of starting here, um, we've got the up here, we've got kind of the label, the title, whatever. And then what you want to do is put different categories or boxes of the things that you're wanting your students to really look for. Because this is the idea of the graphic organizer, that they're starting this with the idea that they're going to fill it out as they go through the story, the textbook, whatever content that you're giving them. So for this example, we have the settings, so we want them to be able to, as they're going through this storybook, write down the setting, and we learned what that was the other day, last week. Where this story is taking place, what time, that sort of deal. Writing the main characters, again, this graphic organizer, this is kind of just like writing down what you know about the story, if that makes sense, or what you know about the textbook. Just kind of putting all your ideas out there, just so that you're able to have everything all in one place, if that makes sense. Um, so it's got the topic and the author, the plot, the problem, the solution, and it's just giving your students like a way that they can look at this and like, oh, here's what I need to find in the book. This is what I really should be looking for. And then they're going through the book and they're doing that active reading where they're asking themselves questions like, oh, hey, I can kind of see that this is starting to become kind of a plot point. I should probably write this down. I'll put a question here about, if I have one. And it's really just good for identifying the things that are happening in the story. Um, for a textbook, I would say it's a little bit different. And that's just because, well, obviously a textbook doesn't have settings, characters, whatever like that. Um, but the way that I was thinking about it for it to be used in a science classroom, is you're reading through okay, sorry. So last semester I took an astronomy class at Co. And one of our projects was we had to uh research one of NASA's space missions. So me and my partner, we did the Curiosity rover that landed on Mars. And so there was a lot of reading like those academic journals, academic articles, things like that. And so just having this like a graphic organizer going through that, like, okay, I want to know what were some of the struggles that this engineering team faced when they were creating this Mars rover. What were some of the scientific advancements, technological advancements? So really the graphic organizer, it's more about having kind of areas to look for rather than just like filling something out to fill it out. It really allows the reader to be engaged without them having to come up with their own um, things to look for, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of a graphic organizer. And then we also have the concept definition map. And excuse me. It's very similar to a graphic organizer in the way that um, you're mapping things out, but it's also definitely different. So all right. And so this is a filled out example. Um, so what we have here's a blank example. This is better. to start off with at least. So we're looking at the word. We have what the word is, and then we try and fill out what is related to that word. And this really helps with those tough vocabulary words that you're looking for or that you're looking at. And I would pair this with something like a graphic organizer or things of that sort because you're reading through, like a scientific text or just a book and the author's using words that you really don't understand what they mean. Um, so yeah, we have the word to start off with. What categories? So like what thing is that word? Um, so if we look over here on the filled out one, our word is horse. What is a horse? We know it's an animal, we know it's a mammal. So that's like what category it's in. What is it like here over on the right side? We know that horses are big, they run fast, they eat hay, they have four legs. So we're just kind of listing off characteristics of that word that either we already knew or that we had to look up. And we just kind of have this here as a reference for later. And then on the bottom, this is kind of going a little bit deeper. And it's just kind of like what subcategories are in that horse, if that makes sense. If you don't know horses, I don't really, but these are types of horses. Like an Arabian is a breed of horse, a thoroughbred is a breed of horse. Um, and so just kind of like giving a little bit deeper of a dive into what a horse is. Um, and obviously everybody here knows what a horse is, so it's a little bit different. But say it's a different word. I can't come up with one, but like uh like like a rock. This or a type of rock. Like sedimentary rock. This is really useful in a science classroom. Okay, what is a sedimentary rock? Well, it's a type of rock. What's it like? Um, it's built up in layers, like it's made of layers. It's usually kind of soft isn't the right type of word, but it's like flaky. It's really easy to break. It's fragile. And yeah. And then the types of the sedimentary rock, like limestone, slate, like that sort of deal. And so it's really just useful for having a word there that you might know, might not know, and then just being able to dive a little bit deeper so that you have a better understanding of what that is. And so yeah, that's kind of the basics of a concept definition map and a graphic organizer. And I hope that was a little bit clear as mud. So yeah.